Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It is the week of Diwali and we get ready to celebrate in fine style, but we want you to do so as safely as possible. So this morning we welcome back Inspector Michelle Lewis of the TTPS. Joins us on Now. Good morning to you, Inspector.
Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to you, ma'am. And good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And yes, you are hitting it on the nail.
I try my best.
The nail on the head.
There we go.
Hitting it on the nail on the head.
Monday morning.
Something getting hit somewhere.
Monday morning and Thursday is a holiday.
Right.
Yes, it
for
is.
you. Not
For
for,
the-
me.
No, ma'am, for the public.
Actually,
For the public.
Not for me, for the
for
public.
the public,
For
it
persons
is.
who are not working in law enforcement.
and also persons who are
and
working in media.
essential areas.
I was about to say media is an
Essential.
essential area too, but
correct,
carry on
right.
So
smartly.
let's see what happens on Thursday
Yes.
for both of you. But this morning, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we are looking at the issue in relation to fireworks. And we're touching also on bamboo bursting.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Busting bamboo, like we normally call it. And really, when you look at the tradition of busting bamboo, it used to be like our fireworks a long time.
Yeah.
Because in those days, there were no fireworks. And so when you hear bamboo bursting, you realize that Diwali is coming around. Right? So this morning, we're looking at those two areas in terms of personal safety and then safety in relation to your home and bringing persons there and that kind of thing. So in the first case, when we look at bamboo bursting, and we want persons to be particularly careful when you have children around, to make sure that they are not close to where the actual activity is taking place. So there can be some distance away, hearing it, observing it, paying attention to it, knowing how it is done and that kind of thing, but under supervision to ensure that sometimes children just run away from you and just want to get closer, to make sure that nothing happens where they are concerned. Also, when you're actually bursting the bamboo, the items of clothing that you have on, ensure that they are secure on your body and not loose, so that when you go down, I know about bursting bamboo, look at me as
I'm listening.
She don't know, so she had to look at you with intrigue.
my brothers and they burst bamboo, so I was right there next to them. But of course, times have changed. So when your clothes is loose on you, and you go to burst the bamboo, it could be that the flames can catch it as well.
Yeah. So I've actually been set on fire accidentally. That's why my face was like that.
Oh,
It's
okay,
quite
all right.
painful.
Yeah, so it's
By
important
bursting
that you,
bamboo.
and if possible, anti-flammable items will
Yes.
work. Also, it's good to have like sand nearby, hose or a
A
function.
fire extinguisher.
fire extinguisher.
And the
Yeah.
fire extinguishers, right? So that in the event of anything, you have those things there that will help you to out the fire as quickly as possible. It is a tradition that we really don't want to lose because we hear persons talking about it and keeping it alive. And so it's something that we see in the culture of Trinidad and Tobago and in different communities.
Do you know the significance of it?
Well, I know that it is done. I remember as a child growing up when you hear bamboo bursting,
It's Diwali.
It's
yeah,
Diwali.
Diwali coming
Yeah.
around.
So my question is, this is something, of course, we want to keep tradition alive. But do you think it will ever get to the point where there are going to be some regulations actually put in place when it comes to that? Because as you would have mentioned, let's say, for example, with the elderly, distance and so much more. If it's one thing that we know growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, that's not necessarily respected. Could we get to that point where it needs to be regulated, or are we going to be able to manage it efficiently?
Well, we should. It is really a personal responsibility and a community responsibility, especially if you want the tradition to remain alive. Because when there's carelessness and irresponsibility taking place, then you find it is clamped down and sometimes totally stopped.
Right.
So the responsibility, like how, for example, we are giving these tips this morning, is for persons who are actually engaged in the activity to be wise and to be responsible so that you mitigate accidents taking place with children and persons who are involved.
Do you often hear of accidents or things like that taking place, or reports coming to the TTPS about people who are damaged or injured while busting
Injured.
bamboo?
The reports may not come to us because it's not a criminal offense.
Right. Okay.
So you may not necessarily hear about it.
All right, so that's one aspect of the
That's
celebrations.
one aspect of it, and that's one type of fireworks, if we can say. And then, of course, there's the other type where you actually go and you purchase the fireworks at a licensed dealer who can sell it. And in those cases, persons will utilize it. Well, the law provides for you to utilize it in a particular way under the Summary Offences Act. So if it's in a town or a city like Port of Spain, Arima, and those areas, you ought not to be using it. You must have a license from the Commissioner of Police or a superintendent in a division who can grant you that license to use it in a particular way. Outside of that, if you're utilizing it in your home, excuse me, it must be within 60 meters, 60 feet away from any road. So that's what the law provides. So if it is in a busy area,
So in
like
a
a
park.
town or a city,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they go to a park somewhere.
yeah, if it's in a, like Independence,
Right.
you realize that when they set it up in Savannah, it's far away from people. So
Of
that's
course.
like the town and city aspect. But if it's in like a residential area, it must be about 60 feet away from any such street, right?
Okay.
Also, you must be mindful that, yes, it's, the celebration really adds some glamour to it, but having children utilize it and doing it in a very irresponsible manner can cause damage to the child, injury to the child as well. So children must utilize it with the supervision of an adult. And I always like to add the word responsible adult, because we do have some irresponsible adults in the society, and parents have to be mindful of that, right? That not everybody who has attained the age of 18 is considered to be responsible.
Correct is right. That is
All right.
definitely.
We also have elderly persons in our communities, and the noise, that loud outburst, can really, really impact them and their peace of mind, as well as animals in the community. So we want persons to be very, very sensitive to the fact that there are other persons in the community other than yourselves who may not be able to tolerate that level of noise, particularly with fireworks and even with the bamboo and the bursting of the bamboo. And it must be considerate. So if you can do it at an area or at a time that is not inconsiderate, the community may not make so many reports to the police, because that's what happens when it is intolerable, that persons will report loud noise and that kind of thing to the police.
So, one of the things that you would have just shared is the actual, distance of when and where you should be using fireworks,
Yes.
which, to be fair, we all live in Trinidad and Tobago, and we all witness numerous occasions where this does not happen. So, on instances like this, how does the TTPS effectively manage these situations? Because one would imagine, rather, that you will definitely get a lot of calls around these time periods. So how do you manage it, and what recommendations do you have for those to, let's say, start to put an end to this?
Well, the first thing, what we are doing this morning is giving safety tips of persons who are desirous of actually setting off fireworks or bursting bamboo to be responsible in the first instance. And if they fail to do so, then certainly we will get the reports, and then we will respond to the reports. The law provides that persons have the privilege of utilizing it, but to utilize it in a particular way. So it comes back to personal responsibility. And I suppose that at a point when it becomes too much or too unbearable in the society, then it may go to Parliament, or some legislation may take place for it to be changed, right? But at this time, we work within the ambit of the law, and when reports are made to us, the police will then, respond to it in that manner. Yeah.
Now, Inspector, one of the things that also happens for Diwali, especially, we have lighting of Deyas. And I know that we've had instances in the past where we've seen houses that catch a fire and that kind of thing. What sort of tips do you have to be more responsible with that as well?
Again, these are open flames. And where you have open flames, and we have children as well that are wrong. And these are activities that you want children to participate, and you want family and communities to participate in. So again, it's always important to have a fire extinguisher nearby. It's always important to make sure that the surrounding doesn't have flammable things, so that dry grass, for example, is highly flammable, and that would cause, could be a higher risk for setting the area afire. Ensure that when you're lighting the Deyas and you put it, because the bamboo, it actually holds it in well, right? So that you ensure that once you do the process the way it's supposed to be done, it should be relatively safe. Don't be too creative to place it in your home if you know that your home, certain things may happen. You put it in areas that it's designed for, that it is safe, so that if you put it on your railing and you have a wooden railing, then chances are, if somebody hits it over, something
because there's also oil inside, right? Which is also flammable.
Correct. So there are things that are naturally set there for you to utilize to keep it safe, so that it doesn't, except an accident happens, right? So that is his personal safety. But you also have that during for Diwali, you have persons having gatherings at their homes, person wearing jewelry, want to look nice. It's normal, it's typical to do so. We want you to be mindful of what is taking place in the country and utilize less conspicuous items of clothing and jewelry.
You know, Inspector, you read my mind there, because that was my next question. I know we're talking about fireworks, but let's be real about it. This is when everybody gathers together. And it's interesting that you mention items and jewelry and that sort of thing. Is Diwali. Everybody is dressing up. Everybody's going to be bringing out. So how effective, or how has the planning gone when it comes to people management for Diwali 2024? Because we're talking traffic in many areas, in Nagar and so much more.
Well, I know for sure in Central Division, Southern Division, because there's traffic even now. Yesterday I passed there and the traffic was like bottleneck to get into there. And so they already have their plan in relation to traffic and public safety and that kind of thing for that area in particular. But also throughout the country, in your community, in your home, you would have gathering, you will have families coming over and friends. So that where you have that taking place, we want you to be mindful that, yes, you're having gathering, but know who you're bringing into your personal space.
Right.
Avoid having strangers there. Make sure it's people that you know, because persons come around as friendly as they are, and they also surveying your home to see your back entrance, because a lot of times the burglary and home invasions are done at a side or back doors and stuff like that, right? So they observe your home and all those things to come back another time. So make sure that you pay attention to the home, to your personal space, and to protect it. Do not allow anybody into your home that you're not familiar with and comfortable with having inside of your home. As I mentioned before, use less jewelry so that you do not make yourself a target. And of course, we want you to enjoy the holiday that is coming up. So on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we wish you happy Diwali, and we wish that you have a wonderful and enjoyable season, meaning the entire festival period, and that, of course, you see you back here Monday, please God.
To you as well, Inspector. Enjoy the Diwali celebrations, and we'll see you next week, God's willing.
Thank you all very much.
All right, we take a quick break, and we come back with more on the Now Morning Show. Stick around.
All around, especially in town, no one couldn't